Kia ora koutou katoa, he whanau ma, e ngā mihi I te huihuinga I tēnei pō, o tō tātou whenua, o tō tātou tūpuna. I pai ki te kite a koutou katoa I te whanau I tēnei, I te rānei, I te whenua, marongi I te whenua, pai rawa atu, tēnā kanohi ki te kanohi, I te wānanga, ngā kōrero, pai tēnā. Heoi anō, ka tīmati te huihuinga, te karakia. Unuhia ki te uru tapanui. Kia wātea, kia maua, te ngākau, te tinana, te wairoi I te aratakata, ko e rā e rongo, whakairi ake ki runga kia tīna haumi e hui e, tā ki e. Kia ora te whānei.
I got me.
Okay.
I am so windburnt. I'm red as I'm going to have the sorest lips, but at least I didn't walk down the hill and back up again.
So what we're going to start with first is, before we get into it, our experience of actually being on the whenua today. And as I said, I've just opened it up to you, Mamai, to give us how you felt about being there. And what else do you have to say? Except for your nitu.
Oh, here we go. No, it was really, really awesome. The land is just so beautiful. It is. But yeah, I'm waiting to hear what everybody else has got to say.
Did Auntie Teresa have anything to add?
Yeah. Yeah, we just got to get things in order properly, and then yeah, just keep marching forward and finding out what we do and how we're going to do it. And yeah, because like one of the things that I really want to learn is the
Video crew?
is the whakapapa for Hanga Ki Waho's sister's side, because I know nothing. So yeah, I'd be really interested to hear that and how we all connected. Like, yeah, a couple of connections today.
Yeah. Now, who are you going to choose?
For what?
You've finished speaking. Who do you want to choose to be the next
Ooh.
person to speak?
Well, we might as well go with Charlotte.
Charlotte wasn't there.
There's a Charlotte on here.
Yeah.
She didn't go to the whenua today.
You would have met some Clarks today, but not this one.
Okay.
You would have met my sister and my dad.
See, there's heaps of yous. Okay, then, well, I'll go with, wow, Trevor, all yours.
Tēnā koe mamoi. Nā ko whakaaro o te rānei. I've been on the whenua before, so understanding that, you know, it's a beautiful, beautiful whenua, and our roto that heads down to it, Waikare, Lake Waikare. I was probably more interested with Wayne's kōrero, Uncle Wayne, in terms of te hitori o te whenua, ngā hono of Wayne's touched on about how it all got started and the connections that were there. You know, I sort of felt that quite interesting. So it's always good to learn a bit of history behind where things are at. You mentioned about where they built back in the days. They built those what are they? Like those drains around that area, because a lot of that area I understand was always flooded. So I think to develop that whole area around Wairinga, Te Kauwhata, they chose to create these, I don't know what you could call for, I suppose, as drains, so the water could be filtered out, and so they could utilize the whenua to either, you know, to build on and where it's at today. But then with Wayne touched on that, the implications that has back out onto the lake, I thought it was quite interesting. So I sort of like quite enjoy finding out a bit more in depth about places. That sort of catches me. And I actually knew Wayne from quite a few years ago. We used to work together. When he first came up on his quad, I sort of thought, oh shit, that face looks familiar. And he was saying the same thing about me. So we had a bit of a corridor as we were walking down to have a look at the puna. And yeah, so it was good to catch up with him. Interesting also with the cousins' input with her knowledge of the environment, or more so under what's under the whenua itself, in terms of the springs, the underwater springs. I sort of felt it quite. I hope I'm not jumping on anybody else's corridor about her. She can look at the contours of the hills and stuff like that, and sort of can see just from her, I guess, knowledge in terms of what's happening and what's going on under the whenua, potentially slips. So asking her if she had the resources to build, in terms of where would she build. So that was quite interesting. And so I think I like understand that now, like, you know, you wouldn't be able to build down in that gully, even though you might be a little bit up from the puna. You know, if there's a big downpour and all that sort of thing, that's obviously that area is going to be the first to get flooded, and or slips could happen as well. So I'll sort of cut that a bit short now. So anyway, you know, enjoyed eventually meeting up, like kanohi ki te kanohi with everybody, and that was awesome. So I will just cut my korero right there. Ka whiua te rākau ki a koe, kiri.
Auntie Teresa,
Yeah.
did you want to introduce yourself, Auntie?
Okay. Honestly, I haven't been listening. I haven't heard what you have had to say or what you've actually come up with. But after coming back from today and I guess just talking things over, I think I need to actually commit to something, to doing something up there with you guys, because I'm aware that you don't have a proper structure yet, and I know how to put those things in place. I helped develop that over at Ocotober. Okay? So my kōrero here is I will go up to the Māori Land Court, get all the papers that are needed to actually get everybody signed up legally. We have to do the legal stuff first, or we have no say in anything that happens out there with everybody else that's there. All the other stuff that's happened out there with the people that have gotten involved and have done things and have taken over, I think we need to develop those slowly because they need a koha from us, some sort of koha or some sort of gift back to them, because they've taken over things that none of us realised no one was doing. And I think they need to realise that we didn't know that. We didn't know that that's what was happening. The other part of this kōrero, I was telling Kitty today that our two nannies that actually owned the lands out there, Hineke Waho, and what's her name down the bottom there? They were sisters. There were only two sisters. Te Manu only had two sisters. I've got the copies of the court situations where different things were said about our nannies. One of them being that there's no Hineke Waho. Well, it wasn't. That wasn't her name, actually. Her name was Paiahi. And so she was denied any acknowledgement and a lot of stuff. But it's okay. It's all part of the process of us growing up, growing into it, and bringing her back into the picture, because we are her picture. Our children and our grandchildren are going to be her picture. And when we come back and move into this place, we're not moving into it as one family. We're moving into it as all family. It's for all of us, not for one of us, not for one branch, not for the other branch, but for the whole family to have the freedom to go back there anytime they want and have somewhere to sleep, rest and eat. That's what I see in this. I see the same thing at Ocotober, and there still needs to be some stuff cleaned up there now. I think that's all I really got to say. Okay. I'm committing to you fellas. Charlotte and I have both talked about this. I've got her back up to support me because physically I'm actually getting weaker, not stronger. But I know I carry things that I need to pass on to you fellas.
Thank you.
What we're all here to do too is learn.
Yeah. Because the other thing you can do, Charlotte, is you can actually pick that up for us and bring it back to us as a whole. Because what I actually envision as who I am is I can actually pick out the whakapapa, point out Tukirunga's line, all the way back to our father's line. And then I can connect those ones. But the only way that I know their children and grandchildren is by some of the kids.
Yeah.
For example, the Davises from Huntly, their father was Ngāpuhi, but their mother was Tukirunga's daughter. Tukirunga's the oldest of the Te Ahuahu line. And she died years ago now. She married a Moana here in Huntly. Another one married a Moana here in Huntly. There's actually quite a few Tukirunga's children that actually married into the Mormon church here. Yeah. That's how Tommy Noda got involved with the lands. Yes. Yes.
I think, okay, so Uncle Monty and Uncle Ken, I think their grandmother was Ruru.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go.
So that's
There you
the
go.
connection, auntie.
Yes. There you go.
Okay.
Then they're from Te Manu.
Is Ruru, is she Inga Kiwaho's sister or niece?
Sister.
Oh,
There
yeah,
are only
thank
two
you.
sisters.
Thank you. How many kids did she have?
Who?
Ruru, is her name Ruru?
I remember Ruru. I can't remember how many kids she had. And honestly, there are too many kids all over the place for us to actually
I had
remember.
too many kids.
We just became a marae. Which is why half the family moved to Cookie.
Mamai.
Okay, so what's next? Or have I already jumped ahead too far?
No, Kitty was going to give her kōrero about today. The bottom of the screen.
Oh, up here.
Yeah, you see this mic? On the, yeah. Kia ora tātou te whānau. Well done, Auntie, for putting yourself on mute, and now you know how to turn it on and off. You got the power now. Kārewe hoki. And it's great to know that we've not only got together today, but our whakapapa and how we are connected as a whānau. So just FYI, I am not a trust board member today. I am only speaking on behalf of my parents. I've been to that whenua, which you obviously in my background, multiple times. Visit it, but to hear the kōrero that Auntie Ngārewa spoke about today, just where in terms of, you know, what's a safe grounding, because that's your expertise, and then what are the next steps that we need to decide as a whānau, which is why it's really good we get together and nut it all out, because we need to tie some bows up and sort it out. So yeah, I think that's really, really awesome. What I love is just us being in unity together, hekoi as a whānau, the real sense of like, you know, actually talking to someone, actually like hug them, like, and value them, and you know, as a person, but also as a whānau. And I think that really speaks volumes in terms of whānau being there, getting a better understanding, you know, why it has been that way, with, you know, Auntie Gurley and Uncle Wayne being on the whenua, and them sharing their kōrero as well, and just really helps us to make better decisions as we go forward as well. So yeah, I would say yes, we're there, but we're not really there. And obviously as we discussed today, sitting down, it was about we may need to look at other options like making some real decisions, which is probably a project manager, or if that's and as well as a geotech, and cousin Trevor, just put it out there, me and you, because we are part of the Toto whānau as well. That's that double sword me and you have. I've got something to table for you to think about, because after going home with Auntie Ngārewa today, she says, you know, over, what's the, not Ngāti Hene, Ngāti Tamaoho. She was saying Ngāti Tamaoho has a lot of funding to help papakāinga. And so she says, niece, you need to go and see so and so, such and such. You and Trevor are best fit for that, because that's your whānau, and you can knock on the door and make sure you take Uncle Haakopaa with you, because that will be the gatekeeper to be able to get all the access, for example, a geotech, okay, because you don't have to pay for it. Also an environmentalist, the person that we would like to see, which is Edith. You might remember Edith. So anyway, she's there in the office, and we probably may need to get with cousin Cindy, with her brother, and also Michael, all on the land to do a whole assessment. So that's what it's looking like so far. That's what she's asked. If we want it to move forward, we would have to make those better decisions so we can look at building papakāinga. But even before that, we would probably may need to be really wise. And since we've had 2 weeks, like cousin said, 2 weeks discussion, really thinking who's going to be our project manager. I'm just keen to hear what decisions have we made that we're going to go with, because I've shared with my mum and she's keen with mum and dad. They have reported back. They're happy. And you can put this on record. They're happy to go with either my mum's Sheridan. I say, it's not your land, it's not Ngāti Pro. Or even with what's her name, Tony, because obviously in terms of tile and what we're working with the land, we've got to work with the land the best way we can. And considering it that we do kind of whakapapa back to Te Arawa as well. So that's my kōrero. That's another long story about that whakapapa to Te Arawa. It's another story, but long story short, basically, my parents have decided that they like Tony, and that's my karanga there. So I'm leaving it to you guys. Kia ora.
Mai, you had a question?
I hear you, cousin, but what I like today when we went up on the land, I thought we were all gathering and having a chat and learning the land, yes. But when I heard Uncle Wayne start kōreroing, I understand that he's saying, you know, we're getting old and we can't really come home and start working the land. The impression I got from him is that he didn't know that we want to put a papakāinga there. And yeah, thank you. So I'm just saying, can we inform like the media, not a big court thing or anything, and inform them that this is what we're going to do, but thank you for what you've done. And then maybe look into the funding for a koha or something. Yeah. And then start working on project managers and that. Because that first, I feel if we let the people know around us that it is going to affect, because they're going to stop doing the land and it's going from farmland into a papakāinga with, you know, us being there. Yeah, and then we start discussing. Because that first stuff will only take, what, a week? And then we're off. Just being polite. And a thank you. And a sort of, yeah, toodaloo. Just a suggestion.
We seem to have locked it out for the moment. Kelly?
I would like to go with that in terms of table that. Maybe we need to be more considerate how we go about that. That was a really good reason, Mamo. And absolutely, it's very poignant and good reason. And the reason why I say that is, but it's also part of our planning, which is why we're looking at getting a project manager to round all that stuff up with us together, hand in hand. But I hear you, it needs to be done bit by bit. It's not ignoring it, but we're trying to get it all one. So how do you suggest that you guys want to do it? And I'm just asking as a whānau member on behalf of my parents. Kia ora.
Well, because it was a gentleman's agreement, I can't say why we can't organise to have another meeting or hui out there gathering with a kai, invite them, and yeah. Hard and
Kind of
fast.
was the plan, but we didn't bring it out.
Yeah, you didn't let us know that you hadn't let them know. And yeah, I felt ambushed. That's why I pulled you around the corner and started asking questions, because I felt we all went there to be a whānau and that, and we were looking at what we want to do to make a papakāinga, but we haven't let them, yeah. So yeah, let's just organise a kai. Gentleman's agreement in, whānau agreement out. Yeah, because
Agree.
it is a big thing.
Plus, I believe, depending on the time that it is needed before we, put whare or anything else like that, if it falls around rates, things, those sorts of things, because yes, they're going to lose
too far.
all that
You're going
money.
too far. You're going too far.
No, what I'm
We've
trying
got
to
a plan,
say,
and this is what, yeah, but that comes with it. We've got this. If we get this papakāinga up and going, we've got to have our land back. And then the rates that we've got to pay until it's up and pumping properly, we use the funding for. But first we must say thank you for what he's done. That's a big job. And then, yeah, we're out there, just tying up
Yeah,
loose
but what I was
ends.
trying to bow tie it with is that if we're given a time frame, we can, part of that gentleman's agreement, if you want to call it, is actually, hey, at this date, we're actually going to take our whenua back, and I believe that we should reimburse them.
Yeah. And I thought it was the moderators that pushed and made sure that admin got it done. Am I wrong? Because you guys know what you're doing. But you just a bit, you don't have balls like me, just, and it sounds rude and indirect, too direct in that, but the vision is this, and straight to it and deal with what we got to deal with on the way without upsetting anybody and then doing it. We got to start at the beginning.
So, can someone bring me up to speed? Because I'm just kind of catching like the ends, whānau, to what you fellas were discussing. Just real quick.
Oh my.
Who am I speaking to? Oh, okay. So we went out to the land today, did our hikoi, because we've got the vision of a papakāinga. So we went out there to learn the land and have a look. Like, I've been out there heaps, and there's a lot there, and the land's been looked after with a gentleman's agreement with Uncle Wayne and Auntie Gurley. But when I went there today, I was expecting to start talking about learning the land and building our papakāinga, But when Uncle Wayne came up and he started discussing what they've done and the work and everything like that, and, they're getting older, and, they want us to go home and work the land. But I got the impression that he only saw it as we go home and graze and, we can grow cows and that. I felt that he wasn't aware that our plans are to build a papakāinga on our land. So, yeah. He needs to know. We need to be polite and let him know. Gentleman's agreement in, whānau agreement out with a kai or something. And then start building.
Yeah. So, Santi Ngariwa, you're talking to, I was down there today, Mama, with you fellas. I got the impression from him when we were with him that he understands that we want to build a papakāinga, né? So he understands that we do want to go back and build a papakāinga. To the degree that you're talking about, I didn't know that the cousin was unaware that, we're looking at in the future to build a papakāinga. But when I was there with him, he definitely understands that we do in the future want to come back and build a papakāinga. So just to clarify that, because I was there when I was talking to him today. And like yourself, I like things to be clarified. I don't like to be left in the dark. Everything's got to be upfront with me. If it's not, I'm going to crunch you. As simple as that. Because I don't like doing things like you said, Mamai, undercutting, eh? We got to be upfront, got to be transparent. And this is where you, your sister and your cousin, Kelly, you guys have been doing an awesome job there. So I think there's just a little bit of misunderstanding there. Uncle does know, he is aware that we want to go back there and build a papakāinga. And your suggestion and going back and having a kai with them, that's a kāpai suggestion. We go back, have a kai with them, sit with them, and have a discussion. And I know cousin Gilly has always wanted us to go back. She's saying that every year at the pokai to all of us, cousin, when you fellas going to come back, to me. She's always said that. But I also like your suggestion. Yes, we go back and honour them, her and her husband, for all the mahi they've been doing over the years. you know, the grazing, the looking after the whenua. And it's a tikanga thing for them, mamai. For them, they're doing it on the tikanga side. So it's not a gentleman's agreement, it's coming down to tikanga. That's the roots of it. So what was passed down through whānau is their tikanga is this. Whānau, you have this, you're responsible of all of that. Ne? And that was the kōrero back in the days, that nana and them gave to one another. That if this whānau's here, you look after this whenua on behalf of all our whānau that comes from Manu Haakopaa. Now that's the kōrero that's always been passed down. That you're living on this this land, okay, you take not ownership, but you look after it. You're the one that let us know. And yes, whatever you do with the whenua, that putia that you get goes to back to the rates for the whenua, and the rest you always putting it back in. And that's what they've been doing. Gilly and Utani is putting their putia back into the whenua. So I just want to clarify that, because I heard that gentleman's agreement today, but it will always come back down to tikanga, always. And the tikanga of our whānau has always been, any whānau that live on that land, you look after it. Ne? You look after those lands. That was between the three tamariki of Manu Haakopaa. Kia ora, whānau.
Mai?
All I'm saying is that aren't we pushing to try and get our papakāinga up and moving in the next year? So that would be a big, whoa, you know. Yeah, just being polite. He should know.
Yeah, I didn't realise it was going to be that quick, niece.
Well, that's what we're working hard on, trying to find out how to do it right and move
Aye.
it. We've got the funding, we've just got to get it done right. But yeah, start at the beginning. We've done that. Sweet, let's do it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you fellas now, from my profession, it ain't going to take a year. Because to do the geotech work, that's going to take months. That don't just happen in weeks or days. Because I told the rest of the nieces when we were coming home, and I'm glad all you whānau are here, and I spoke with cousin Trevor when we were having a kai, that when the geotech comes in to do all the mahi, all that land is all got to be analysed according to each area of the land, because every area of that land is different. The sediment, the soil, well, not so much the sediment, is the soil. Yeah, kōrero mamai.
But isn't that a start?
Yeah, that's a start. That's a start.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. Once it starts moving, it'll move. Because that's a start. And then after that, doesn't matter how long it takes, it's the next step. And, you know.
I'm looking at when I hear the word 1 year, that's what my whakaaro, everything is wrapped around that 1 year. Okay, geotech will take about 3 to 6 months. Okay, the environmentalists got to come in. They got to do their mahi. And then the engineers got to come in after them. They got to do their mahi. It's not going to take a year, but the mahi's going to be started.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what we're pushing to do, is start. And that'll be the start, or well.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm going to shush now, because all the whānau, like, that's just my, how I'm seeing it. That's why I'm asking if I'm right or wrong, or, you know, we all gotta say.
Your voice is important, my baby sister. No, that's correct. But what we want to do is, once we know kind of thing, then, you know, because we're making contact with different people shortly. And once we know that stuff, then we can go and have a kai with auntie and uncle and say, hey, over the next period of time, this, and this has happened. And this has happened. This is going to happen because we're going to be moving back to land. It's about letting them know when people are coming through. Why are you shaking your head?
Because you guys can still do whatever you're doing, but we can let him know and get them ready now. We don't have to muck around with this. It's just, you know, do it. Just do it. Let's just do it. And then if
Okay.
you guys
Are we
get
in-
whatever you've
is
got to
everyone
organise
in
come on
agreement?
first, then,
That we just do it this week or within the next 2 weeks?
well, yeah, can we plan for that?
We can plan for that. Yes.
You can
That's all
plan
I'm
for
asking.
you can plan for as much as you like, but you've got to do the legal work too. And that starts with Māori Land Court. You can't do anything on the land without their okay, because we're doing everything illegally, which is why I said I'll get all the trust papers ready. There has to be trustees. They are the ones who are responsible for paying all those things. And my heart is, if I had known that they were doing all of this years ago, I would have come back and done it years ago. I didn't know. Nobody was taking care of our whenua. That's our whenua. We're all responsible, not just them. And we're all around. That's what hurt today when I was listening to things going on.
Yeah.
So I love those two, and I want them to be up to date with everything that we do, because we've missed them out. We've bypassed them and they've bypassed us. We had to start including them, even if it's just by paper trails.
Good, Auntie.
All of our plans have to run past them, not because we want their okay, but so they know we're not trying to be sneaky behind their backs. We want to be open with them. Hey? That's right, Ngaa.
Ka pai, that's the one. That's the one. Ka pai.
Okay.
Who all agrees with that?
Put your hands up.
I do.
Trevor, can you just put an eye or a hand up? Consensus. Okay, we just have to organise a time.
So one of the
Is
things,
there any suggestions?
yeah, you need to realise the timeline has to actually be quite slow, because it takes months for Māori Land Court to get things done. That's just the paper trail. And then we can pre-plan all the other stuff bit by bit. In saying that, somebody could be writing down what we need to be doing. And it doesn't have to be one person. If you delegate to everybody, get one task, write down what we should be doing to it or what we can suggest to do to it, everybody's got something to do. Does that help?
Isn't that what we're doing?
Actually, I thought that was what you were doing, but I can't see it. I hear it, but I can't see it. I got to see what I'm doing. I can't just listen.
Well, that's admin's job, isn't it?
We all admin until we stop doing something. We all got to contribute to what's happening, not just one or two. You got to learn something along the road to actually pick up this take, the whole lot of us, because we all got skills and we don't know what we are till we start.
Yeah. Ka pai, cuz.
Goody.
Ka pai.
Goody.
Thank you for raising that, Auntie. I'm sure Hinga Ki Waho can explain what Zoom does. That's why we're not taking any notes. It does it all for us, thank goodness, which is really, really cool. I won't touch on that. That's got nothing to do with me. So that's more to do with Hinga Ki Waho and Charlotte. That's their mahi. So that's why it does all the writing, the notes, and everyone knows what sort of suggestions we do. And also that's the also I think Hinga Ki Waho, she's got some something that she wants to address, especially you know, how we want to move forward. But it's great that we've made a decision on what we want to do first, so that's great. And now what's the next step from here?
But there's also another person that's tautokering in at the moment. I've got Waitata, who, or Y for short, who is Kiri's sister. She is helping me look after the admin team and moderators. But yes, the whānau here have actually paid for a year's supply of this Zoom number that we have. And that means that it has AI that takes notes. But during the week, I'll be teaching Charlotte how to correct them if there's any mistakes and things like that. And we will once things are tabled, it says it's tabled, it says what we're talking about, and we can then send it out to the whānau. We've been trying for weeks to get people to tell us what their gifts and talents are so that we can actually use them. But yeah, it's been a slow bite. Auntie Ngā Rewai, here Patai.
So, Kapai, Cousin Teresa, all the noting is taken down. AI is the bomb, man, the bomb.
Yeah, so that's why it doesn't look like we're doing anything, but it gives us time to actually think about it rather than writing. Mai.
How do we get onto these minutes and AI, and how does that work? Like, where would I find it?
That is in the Gmail account that is attached to the Zoom link. So that is in the admin and moderators messenger where we keep our different things. Apologies, I haven't put the Canva in because I forgot the password. So I've got to figure out with Kitty as my backup what it is before I send it out. Auntie Ngā Rewai?
So, and going forward, in regards to going forward, I strongly suggest, niece Kelly, that you get on to Edith Tuhimata ASAP for the environmental side, because she's a qualified environmentalist. She's Māori and she's the one that looks after Ngāti Tamoho. She also works in with Waikato Tainui. So she's the one that will know all about our plant life, what's native to our whenua, you know, the taiao around our environment back down home. My encouragement is get on to ASAP, niece. You know, don't let it lag. And then from there, she will have the ones for the GOT. Those two people we need them ASAP before we can even go ahead. Like the cousin said about the Māori Land Court, that's another one too that we've got to do correctly. But you fellas already know how to do all of that. So those two people, get on to them ASAP.
This post of you of informing our skills and whatever, I have no idea what skills I have. I know
Not true. You're
I know the
horticulturalist.
education I schooled along the way, but is it going to make me tired?
But Mama, I heard you said to me you was a horticulturist today when we were having a call.
I used to do it. Yes, I did. I'm also an engineer and I'm qualified at something else. Oh, and I'm also a dairy farm shed manager. So
there you go.
All
There
those
you
things
go,
are
niece.
all those things are applicable skills.
well, I saw today going to the land. What I saw today was beautiful pastures, right? But I seen wind and like these things. There's a lot of work on groundwork that we need to get organised and get done. We need to plant trees. We need to, you know, stabilise the land with the plants, because there's going to be a lot of land moving with building on there. So there's a lot of work and there's a lot of us. And I can do a spade, but somebody, can we drive down the bottom and do the weeds and trees and stuff? But I'll, you know,
You're a
I'll
driver. I'll be on
I'll
the
bring a
four-wheel
spade.
drive, chuck you off, and let you roll down the hill.
Take off on your 4-wheel drive, or I'll drive it and make you scream. Throw you straight in the lake and see you if you can reverse out.
That's why I said if someone wants to have a, you know, a boat as a house. Kitty.
So can we table a decision if we're going to do what Auntie Ngā Rewai, and we want to see if people want to move with it, because we don't want to just say things and then we don't do it. This is why we come together. So I'd like to hear what people want to think about that, including Trevor. That's our auntie. We gotta go see her. It's free.
We can see you hiding.
Oh, kia ora whanau. I was just having a little bit of a nibble, so I didn't want to sort of do it on video. So just wanted to maybe track back a little bit in terms of the presentations that were there for in terms of what we what each of us were after in terms of the building or the project managers. I'm sort of, I think I did mention before about the whare uku. I was sort of quite I sort of found that quite good with the whanaunga Ruben, Matua Ruben. So just wanted to say that anyway. Yeah, I'm supposed to. There's a hui on Sunday for our pokai at Modia, which I will catch up with cousin Hopai about potentially funding for the environment. Oi, ka whiua tarako kia hoki kia koutou. Ka wai?
So I'm
Right.
assuming, Kath, that you're saying aye to go ahead next.
Aye, absolutely. I know that there's a long process and there's steps upon steps that we need to be taking in terms of moving forward. Yeah, I suppose after going out into the whenua today, is sort of feeling a lot more grounded in terms of moving forward and actually, yeah, no, it was awesome. So yeah, I'm keen as like whether I'm still here or not and get to use it. Well, if I don't, at least our whānau whanaunga
You'll be
tamariki
there.
mokopuna will be there for it anyway. So yeah, no, it's all good.
Mama, we've only got a few minutes.
Well,
Actually,
just,
1 minute.
I just want to thank everybody because I'm on a mean journey for us with you guys, and yeah, thank you all so much. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. You wish I wasn't, or my mouth, but yeah, nah, thank you all. Thank you so much.
Ka pai, mama, and that's what we're all about, whānau, is that we hold one another, we walk with one another side by side. Ne? Ka pai, mama.
We're going to go over time because this is quite an important one. Auntie Ngāre, what are your thoughts and comments from today being on the whenua, please?
So for me, it was about walking on the whenua. There were a few things that cousin Wayne didn't mention about the farmers, how they contribute to the lake too, because they do, why our water looks like it is because a lot of the farmers around there contribute to our lake being what it is. It's the methane that comes from those cows and those sheep. So they have to take ownership too, that they're contributing to our wai. And cows and sheep are no good for our whenua because of what they produce from out of their kaka and that will go into our waterways, into our natural streams. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to harm all our springs, all our wai underneath. We don't want any toxins to go into. So there was one area that the cousin didn't mention, and maybe he, he's not aware of it. I'm not saying that he is, but maybe he wasn't aware of it. I'm very aware of the taiao and what contributes to it. I'm very clicked on to that area and underneath what will harm our whenua. So those two areas for me were very important for us as a whānau, that I make you fellas aware, this is what's going to happen to our whenua. This is what we got to do to our whenua before we even build on it. So those two areas for me are very important, because you can't go any further. Once you get the geotech, once you get the environmentalist, bang, we're on our way. Like the niece said, Mamai, she's an engineer, and there's other whānau, she's a horticulturist. I'm a scientist / lawyer, environmental lawyer, international. That's what I want to be certified as, not just national, international. So my taiao was talking about the whole planet, not just our whenua, the whole planet. So, but coming as your fellas auntie, as your whānau, I want all of this information I have, you fellas to have it. Because gone are the days when our whānau, they had the knowledge. When I was growing up on Māori and Marae, none of them shared it. None of them. Those days are gone, man. They're history. So with all the mātauranga that I'm acquiring while I'm at kura, I want to put it back into your fellas' hands. Let you fellas know this is what happens over here. This is what's happening here. And I can give you the answer why this is happening there, why this land looks like this. So I'm very aware of the taiao and underneath. So that's, for me, that was important to see it and to share it with you fellas. Because I'm hoha of our whānau that don't share their profession. We meant to share to one another, not hold it in, not keep it to ourselves. Like what Mamai was saying, she wants to do this, she wants to do that. Then that area, she'll make us aware of her mahi. And all of us are going to make one another aware, like the admin people. So each one of us, where our professions lay, my encouragement is share your mātauranga and your mahi. Don't keep it to yourself. Share it to all of us, so that we know when we move as a whānau, we're up to the play. Ne? We're not the experts, but we understand one another's mahi. Kia ora whānau.
Did you want to have a bit of a kōrero about what it was like for you to be on the whenua today?
Who are you talking to?
Ere, Pepu Ere. Ah, now she's run away.
Technology.
Unmuted? Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
I just wanted to say it's so beautiful out there, and I wish that this could have been done 40 years ago, but it's good that we're doing it now and we're trying. And as long as we let kotahitanga be the winds in our sails, we'd be all right. That's all I wanted to say, whānau, love yous.
For me, it was a real good cleansing. The wind blowing, the rain, and the sun, and even, yep, I did walk down there in someone else's gumboots, and it got a little bit tiring coming back, but it felt good to do that. I'm a little bit sore, but not as sore as I thought I would be, so I'm really blessed about that. But for me, it was just that visualization, and if you can see in mine and Kitty's photos, it shows you that our water used to be blue. Not that red that we're seeing today, but it used to be blue. And we're not trying to cut anyone out of the picture, Mamai. We're just trying to, got too many things going on, and that's why I'm trying to divvy out stuff already so that people can do the different mahi, so that we come together as kotahi, as Pepu said. So the more whānau that we can bring in to lighten the load, the better it will be, especially around the likes of, how many years have Auntie and Uncle been paying our rates? Yes, it was that you can use the whenua and you'll pay the rates out of that, but hey, we know that now, and it's up to us to stand up and take ownership, and we really need to do. We need to go see all of our own whānau members and say, hey, you need to start putting in an account. And talking about accounts is why I wanted to also is to think about whether we make a hapore manaakitanga. So that's, Pākehās call it a community trust, and then that way a bank account can be opened. This is just for thinking around, so that when we have things like this, the whānau is actually putting in money for what we need to do. It's holding us accountable, because that is our whenua, and we have allowed our other whānau to take on our responsibility. And it stops today. It really, really stops today. We've got to do something. Even though he said it was all right, it's not okay. Because we can't teach our children that they can do that to their whānau. That's not right. So let's think about how we can get our whānau, find out what the rates are, so that, and when do the rates have to be paid, and all of those sorts of things we need to be putting on our hats as a whānau to do. Plus, also, still going to go and see them. All right? I'm not going. I'm just saying that the whānau needs to think about this other thing as well.
Yes, but to do
yeah,
that, we need trustees.
Hmm.
So that's what
Are you
Auntie
putting up your hand
Teresa's
to be a
on. She's going to
trustee
do the
at
Māori. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's what Auntie Teresa's going to teach us about, because she knows all the Māori Land Courts, and she's going to get the stuff to, you know,
60
sort
cents.
that out. So yes. But let's do it. Let's do it. You know, what's first? Let's do it. Push.
And that's what we're doing. We're pushing, and we're making all the whānau aware of where things have fallen down and what we need to do to pick it up again. And yes, that is to see Auntie Gilly and Uncle Wayne, to say, hey, this is, yeah, we're really
so
serious about
who
this
can
now.
organise that?
You're part of the team.
Auntie Teresa, I don't know. I don't know them. And that's why I didn't say anything today, because I didn't want to be a stranger being direct, because it'll come across rude. So who else knows them too, if they could, you know, organise something for us all to do it? You've got other stuff to do.
Okay.
So, who has contacts directly to cousin Julie?
Tere and I.
What about you, Auntie Teresa?
Yeah, I can do that. My thing is with the trust deeds and the papers, that those actually take time. They take quite a long time to actually get done. I've just got to get people to sign them, agree to them, put their CVs together, and I have to put it into a log to actually put it into Māori Land Court. That's the easy part. The bringing the family together, that's actually not that hard either, because they want us to actually do something. They're already waiting for us. They've been waiting for us for a long time. So we just got to get our act together. Never mind about arguing about it. Let's just start with what's in front of us first. Hey, cut it out. So,
Yeah.
does that help?
Is first thing we do is organise a meeting with Auntie and Uncle and do it?
It can be happening at the
Inform
same
them.
time, Mamai.
Pardon?
Both things can be happening at the same time.
Yeah. But because you've got heaps on your shoulders, eh?
Yeah.
All I was saying is there anybody else that knows them apart from you and Kitty, so you guys can do your thing to ring up and organise it, and we go back out again with a kai?
Cousin
All
Teresa.
it takes is just to get a
things.
phone call.
Yep.
And we can make a date, and if anyone's free, we all go out.
We don't have to formalise these things. One of us can drive out to the property and talk to them direct, face to face. This is the way I like to do things, face to face. If we can work it out that way, that's the way that it should be done. And then bring the rest of the whānau in. But we work around them, not us, not them work around us.
I'll come
Okay,
for a
I
ride
know
with you
that
then, Auntie.
I know there's a lot of us to actually pull together, but they're the ones who have been taking care of everything all this time. So we put them first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ka pai, cousin.
Right?
So who's the closest to them? Would it be you, cousin?
Yes. Yes, I'm in Hamilton. The other part is I'm down the road from Alex and I want to drag his little behind in.
Oh, definitely, please.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
and
not
it's
going to
straight
be
up
easy.
the guts then.
Oh, I think I might have to come over to your place then.
What
Full of
for?
these.
To
No,
bring
yours.
Alex. I got to
Bring
talk Alex into coming.
Mm.
Because he's the one who took care of all of our lands when we were actually, when our fathers were actually in tow with them. And from what I've heard since that time, things have been sold off. And I want to
Yeah.
find out what's going on. From
The only
him,
way to do
out
that
the
is the
mouth.
Māori Land Court.
Yeah, because they'll have all the evidence. All I have to do is find the paper trails outside of the Māori Land Court.
So
Is that okay?
are we in?
That's
Are we
okay.
in
We give
agreement?
you permission, Auntie.
Yeah, go ahead, cuz. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I'll do that.
Yeah, that's your strength, Auntie. But remember, if it gets too much, let me know.
I will.
So we've got an agreement. Auntie Teresa's going to pop out, and then once she's had a kōrero with them and they're happy for us to have a whakawhanaungatanga, then she'll let us know and we'll put the page through the moderators. Did you guys hear me? Because my screen froze.
No, because you were cutting out.
Yeah, that's why I said, did you hear me? So Auntie Teresa's going to pop out this week to go and see them, have a kōrero, kanohi, ki te kanohi, and then she'll organise another time for us to whakapanaunga with them, for those of us that don't know them, and we'll go and have a kai out at their place, kind of thing. We've already tabled that Kiri and Trevor, because they've got the Ngāti Tama Oho in them, to go and see Edith and actually get some tautoko from them, because they're the ones with the geological and ecological or taiao tohu, so that that part can almost immediately be done. Auntie Teresa's also volunteered to make sure that we've got the right papers for the trustees and get signatures and everything else like that, so that all the work for MLC is pono, and then we can keep going ahead. At any time, the whānau can, just put a tono through the Facebook page about different stuff, and the moderators will get back to the main admin team, and we'll try and sort out if there's any queries from that. But we were hoping tonight to have actually put it out about the people that we were looking for being project managers, because it's a long job, and we also wanted to be making sure that from our perspective, the project manager wasn't one of us, so that the different frictions didn't happen, which has happened over the years. So we were wanting a neutral person. But I think that maybe we'll give it another week, because I don't believe everyone's actually watched everything. So that was Tony Collins. We sent the videos out 2 weeks ago when they came with the skills that they had to do the job that they wanted to. And at the same time, the one that was missing because of a tangihanga was Sharon Associates, but we put up the link to their presentation and to the Māori channel, because they had been part of the Māori TV. So we're going to give everyone an extra week to have a think about that stuff. Kiri. For yes.
Those who are new, where do we find that information? Just saying that generally. Kia ora.
That's on the very, very long name that we have, YouTube. So the moderators are going to stick that link up from the YouTube into the Facebook page. It's really important that everyone is attached to that Facebook page so they're aware of what's going on, because we really don't want to be having internal squabbles from whānau members about not being aware of what's happening. We're trying very, very hard to try and keep all the whānau lines, but we only know one part, and that's why we're asking the other parts to actually, get your own part on board to tautoko this, because, yeah, we've been out to see the whenua, we've seen what's been happening, and me personally, I really think it's time that we actually stood up and take accountability for what's been going on, and we actually, even though it's they call it a gentleman's agreement, but a tikanga agreement, we haven't played our part, and we haven't actually showed tikanga, because that's not right for us to have just made one little part of the whānau pay for all of our rates at that time. And so I think that's a kōrero for another time, for us to figure out how we're actually going to show our tikanga to them without offending. Okay? Because it's got to be in a way that doesn't offend them and make them feel that they didn't do their blessing to us. So that's another aspect we actually have to think about. We have to think about making sure, yeah, I've heard, seen your hand, that we honour them as well. Now, Mamai.
Is there going to be minutes typed out of what's got to be done tonight? Like 1, 2,
Yep.
3.
They will.
Where? When?
They don't come out for another half an hour after we have actually finished in the session, and then it will let us know in the Gmail account that it's ready. Okay, so as soon as we normally get off, it takes about half an hour to 45 minutes, and then the Gmail will get an alert saying that the summary is available and that the Zoom session has been uploaded, ready to be looked at. Yep.
And will it be in sentences like 1, 2, 3, 4, or is it going to be like you, a book?
Of course I'm a book. It normally comes as paragraph summaries, and then it's up to us to actually put it into bullet forms. But at the moment, they do a summary. But when we say tabled, it knows what to do. But yes, that's what I'm saying. It's an AI, but there are still bits that we have to tidy up before we actually send it out.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Just because you didn't go to school. No. It writes it in a paragraph. It puts the title, then paragraphs, the different people that were speaking on that topic, does another paragraph, topic, and on like that. But then we've just got to make sure that everything's correct within there, because they do some hiccups on the Māori words. Hi, Auntie.
Well, we can sort that out, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Answering Mamai's question, she don't know what AI is, right? So it's artificial intelligence needs. So the computer, the robot summarizes everything. And then the whānau got come in after and then finish it.
That's why I said to you today,
How do
you
you
want me
work
to
the
show you?
computer? Pardon?
You don't need a computer. It's even on your phone, because you've got a Samsung phone. You've got a Gmail account. You've got Messenger. AI is in all of those as well now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So it comes to the actual Gmail account that this Zoom bought. So the name that the whānau came up with, Nā Uuri Whatumanawa o te Manu Haakopaa is the name at Gmail.
No shit.
I'm just explaining, okay?
You don't
And
have
it
to,
goes to
sister.
these new people,
Oh,
okay?
well, they can read the AI, can't they? No, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
so it will tell us or sends me a message to say that it's ready. And then that's when you go back and you go in and you look at the summary and you just tidy it up. And it will, from this week going forward, that will be found in the actual minutes themselves will be found in the file place for the Facebook
Can you
page.
just send the link, please?
I'll talk with you after.
No. Yeah.
Kitty,
So I hear you were saying about we needing the hapori. Why do we need to consider that? Just putting it out there.
the reason for a hapori is so that we can actually have everything very, very tidy, so that when we're asking people for all of this information and everything else like that, and when we get funding for it, that it has its own bank account. It's not attached to a single person. It belongs to all of the whānau or to the name of this ropu here. Because hoping to get a hold of next week some people that have already got papakainga and some of the experiences they've had by not having a hapori in place. So this is the things to be thinking about long term. About, I know we're not at that stage, but it's really important to get a lot of the groundwork down. Kitty, I mean, my.
Computers in terms of the preachers. But the second miracle I mentioned.
Unmute.
Isn't that after we've done all the groundwork with Auntie Teresa and the Māori courts and that, then we start discussing that, because we've got to be part of the land and trustees, or as a, yeah, before we can even start discussing that.
Kitty, you want to answer that one? Yeah. Unmute.
Sorry, why are we asking me this one? Why do we need to have
Put your
our
secretary
hapori?
hat on. Put your
Um,
secretary hat on.
Because the accounts and that, I was just saying, isn't that why Auntie Teresa's gonna teach us how to deal with the Māori Land Court, so that we can succeed to the land to be able to become trustees to do that? Yeah.
Okay, that may be something that you guys may have to do, yeah, outside. I'm only saying this as whānau. That's what usually most whānau do, from the outside. But in terms of when we're looking at hapori, it's separate from the trust, so it works alongside them. That's what she's saying here, because like she's mentioned here tonight, there have some people who have actually been in this position where they've actually wished they had a hapori first instead of waiting for a trust to try and get stuff done, a trust board meeting. So having a hapori, which is all of us in a group, she's saying pretty much, it gives the opportunity for the whānau to speak and resolve issues right away, instead of waiting for 3 to 5 months for the next trust meeting board. So that they are in cooperation together, they work hand in hand, you know what I mean, which is really awesome. But at the same time, you don't have to wait around for a trust. So that's where she's coming from. So yeah, you don't have to wait for the trustees. I'm just explaining it in general, whānau mā, that's how it is. So you have the trustees of the Te Hirere Trust, and then you have the hapori, which is pretty much the hapori, you guys, whoever you decide to be on your committee, put together. And also in that hapori, you would have a project manager, and the project manager is the person to help do all the hard work in terms of like whether it's the Māori Land Court, they do all that stuff, they tie it all up for us. Even when it comes to, like, if you look back, right, you look at for example, what was her name? Tony, right? She goes and all applies for all the okay, so she helps us put together like the feasibility plan, right? The sustainability plan, okay? And then also the development plan and the taiao plan. You have to put in a taiao plan. You can't just build because it looks Donkey Kong, kaore. You've got to have a taiao plan, and that's part of your sustainability plan, eh? And then your consents from the council, AGM and whanau. So that's how that structure goes. And then also Māori Land Court. So that's why all the hard work has to be done, and your project manager, who you decide that is going to be on the whenua to help you build this papakainga. Hence why she kind of tabled it, but we went past it. So I don't know, what do you guys want to do?
Can we just take it one step at a time?
I hear you, but in terms of that's the work that project manager does all for the whanau, and it all gets paid out from the funding, right? And puts the papakainga in place. That's why you have a project manager, so you don't have to do all the hard stuff. If you're talking about what you're talking about in terms of succession, succession, maybe that's a very good topic if you want to bring up with the rest of whanau as an actual way to be able to, you know, we could table that as a suggestion for the whanau, for those who do want to do succession who haven't yet succeeded. That's an idea. I'll bring that to you now, but we also need to table who's going to be our project manager. Kia ora.
No.
But if you've succeeded the land, doesn't it help us get the grants that we need to build?
50-50, cousin. So when I mean 50-50, if you're a succession and you already are currently just looking at it. So from my experience, I'm going to share a little bit of my experience working at, okay. So in my role, working as, KPMG, okay. For a succession person who needs to succeed to the land, yes, it does help. You can make decisions and tabling it, but in this environment here, right, it's a whanau hapori, so you can make that decision first. And then when you end up getting your project manager to makes the strategic plan for the whanau, makes the development plan.
That.
Yeah, they make it with you and they discuss it with you all the way. And then you have to build a feasibility plan, a design plan, right? A sustainability plan. These are the keys you need, right? And then you've got consents. So what are those consents entail? They are like consents from the council, the AGM, okay, on the board, and whanau ma. Then after that, they, with the project manager, the last part they do, the 10, is they involve the Māori Land Courts. And that's where they go to TPK as well, and they apply for all the funding as well on your behalf. That's what they get paid for. That's what they get hired for. So you don't have to stress out. They do all the hard work for you. Basically, we just say, hey, look, they work with us and make that decision. That's why you had 3. That's why you had 3. You had Thomas Ward, right? Then you had who is it? Sheridan Association, and then you have Tony Collins. Yeah. Hence why you got to decide which 3 you want or to use.
Them all.
We've only had 1.
Wow.
You're actually duplicating everything that the trustees have to do in a hapori. That doesn't make sense to have 2 different groups doing the one job. And we're all the same ones who have to make those decisions. Why are you doing that? You're splitting us in half.
Who? Me? Huh?
The kōrero. The hapuri will actually be doing everything that the trustees should be doing. The trustees have the legal right to make decisions. The hapuri is just a committee. That's the reason why I wanted to go back to the basics. They still got to go through Māori Land Court. If the trustees are already there, we don't have to do it twice.
Yesterday, that is struggling now.
We become legally obligated to actually get things done. The hapuri doesn't. They just make decisions.
You're on mute.
I thought that that's what this was all about, was everything, like what all of yous are doing, what Auntie Teresa's going to teach us about how we do it, so that we can, like, everybody's trying to be confidential. Our whakapapa was confidential. We are our whakapapa. So what we do, talk among us, is just for us. But yeah, I want to know everything. And learn along the way.
So yeah, what cousin Teresa was saying is right. The committee has the legal obligation. The trustees, they have the legal obligation to everything. They're the ones that at the end of the day will sign off. And then the hapuri, like you said, Nese, we can make decisions, together as a whānau. The hapuri can make decisions, but they have to legally turn everything, they tick it off.
And yeah, so the idea was for us to get all of that done. So then all that has to happen is they know exactly what we want, because we've actually done our paperwork. We've got a paper trail, and we know we have to take it to the trust board, because we want the whānau to feel that they're involved, and it's not just the trust, even though the trust is the legal, but we want the whānau to feel like they're actually involved in doing something instead of being bullied into something. And that's what the reason for this is to actually, yes, teach them along the way and get that structure done, so that they don't just go to the trust and say, oh, I want to build a house. Because they're going to say,
that's why we're all here.
Where's your feasibility? Where's your this? Where's your that? But we're trying to actually show the whānau, this is the procedures that you need to actually go through if you want approval from the legal entity, which is the trust. It's not about bullying them out of the way. It's actually about giving the whānau the power to make the decisions again. Yes, we have people sitting on the trust, but the whenua is everyone's, and it should be the whānau making the decisions and then telling nicely the trust what they actually want. Because did the trust tell us that for how many years that we weren't filling our obligation as a family, and we were making our auntie and uncle pay our rates?
We never made them do anything. They tell you because no one was there.
Yeah,
that's all.
And that's what I mean. We weren't there. We weren't told.
Well, I got news for you. Even though you're setting up a hapuri, you're still only reaching some people. The rest of the bigger whānau still don't know what the heck's happening. It doesn't matter how many groups you want to create. What I'm trying to say is, don't duplicate two jobs with one group of people. You're doubling the workload without doing anything. We're all going to be doing the same thing. You don't have to have two project managers and two chairpersons and two ahara. Choose one road and stick to it.
That's what we're deciding, Auntie, because those were the interviews when we interviewed them and learnt. And now our decision is which one out of them.
No, I'm talking about hapuri trustees. That's two different groups doing the same job. They got to make decisions about the same things.
As well as this page, is that what you mean?
Yes. You're saying that one reaches a whānau and the other one doesn't. The other one bullies the whānau. But I've got news for you, not all the whānau turn up at all the meetings.
No, what I was saying is that we don't want to be bullying the trust. We want to be able to have the whānau come and then it goes to the trust and they understand how to go to the trust.
There's no way that's going to happen. There's not going to be any bullying. You know, we're all here working together. None of that goes on. We've got this. We've got this. And we're doing awesome. We just got to take it day by day and keep going forward.
Trust
Don't
the
worry about
process.
those other things that you assume or whatever. Just let's roll on our roll. We've done really well. We got a swear jar, you know, and Genji's, and we all went home today.
But I'm just saying one committee. You don't need two committees. And I know that you're trying to isolate trouble. But honestly, when whānau are trying to make big decisions about big situations, there's always going to be raru. But that's what a whānau is. We have to argue things out. We've got to do it face to face.
And that's why we're building a papakāinga.
To bring everybody together to face each other. Eh? Two bank accounts, no good. Two committees, no good. If one committee can't do the job, the other one shouldn't even be there. Does that make sense?
Well, we're still rolling, Auntie. And we're doing, it's such a buzz to be able to see us there, you know.
Well, I'm saying Ngārewa. We've been around this road a long time, eh? And I love helping our people, but I also know all the traps we fall into, and this is one of them. Too many chiefs and not enough Indians. We've got to all stay Indian. We're the same tribe.
Right, aren't you?
Hello, cousin. Our nieces, they are doing a fabulous job, and
I know.
they want to inform, and you and I know the traps that come with it. So, in regards to the hapori and then the trustees and having the separate bank accounts for the pūtea to be building, that is correct. It should be the trustees, né? But what our majority of our whānau on here want to see, and whānau that are not on here, they want to see transparency with everything in regards to, especially their pūtea, transparency with their pūtea.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's good.
And our nieces are being tūturu to that.
Yep, I got no problem with that. The way to do that is make several people's signatures on the count.
Absolutely. I've sat on treasuries before.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to do it.
I'm sorry, Betty. It's just a bit.
Sorry, whānau, I have to jump off soon, very soon. Awesome, cousin, what you had brought up. It is important. And our nieces, I back them up 100% because of what we have been brought up in. We already know the stuff that happens, eh? Me and you are really important for our nieces. We're really important because we're going to be the ones that's going to say, taiwa, taiwa.
Wise words.
And that's where we come in, you and I, to guide them. So I'm going to say ka pomari o koutou, only because I've got lots of mahi to do.
Dinner?
And I haven't had dinner. I'm still waiting. But what I wanted to say for future events for our whānau, going back onto our whenua and that, now I'm going to be very blunt. My time is very limited. Today, I allowed extra 2 hours. I should have been back at 12 because of my commitments I have. So when I come down now, it'll be only to come down, do the mahi, out.
Yeah.
I can't muck around because my time is so precious. It's too precious. I've got too much to do. So I just want to let you know that when I do come to events now, it'll be only for a certain time and then I won't be able to be sitting around kōrero, te me, ka. I'll come and do the mahi, out. Come and do the mahi, out. Ka pai whanau.
Bye.
Bye, Auntie.
Pomari and God bless. Ne?
Oh, bless you too.
Bye.
Ano.
We've really gone over time tonight. Is there any other kōrero that wants to be raised for us to think about? Can't hear you.
When we do it again. Today was cool. It really was.
So if there's nothing more to say for the moment, Trevor, can you do a karakia to close us off, please?
Tēnā koutou katoa whānau mā. E mihi ana kia tātou, tō tātou whakaaro o te kaupapa hira, o te whenua nei, i tō tātou tūpuna. Ioi anō, kei no tātou. Kia tātou katoa, te ata whae o tō tātou ariki a hukarati, e te aroha o te atua, e te whiwhinga tahitanga, ki te wairua tapu, ake. Āmene.
Amene. Admin team, I'll give you fellas 10-ish minutes, 9 o'clock, we're on half an hour, kōrero, that's it. Or maybe 15 minutes. Okay?
I won't even, I'm putting my phone on silent until tomorrow. I know
love
it's
you
going
too,
ping, ping,
sis.
ping, ping. Love you all. Yay!
O mare whanau.
Ko Māori.